I forget that they can edit and cut all that stuff. When's the next time you're coming to Pittsburgh?
Between the 25th and the end of October before November really gets going,
Okay.
I think. Yeah, see you soon.
All right. All right. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's hit it. Three, two, one, go. All right, guys. Welcome, Inner Circle members, back with I just like to call you Dr. J. Is that okay? I know you're not a doctor, but like,
Mike McCann, the real estate man. Shout out to Mikey. He always calls me Dr. J.
yeah,
I'm
it's
hopefully
like
someday I can get one of those doctorates.
okay. So, hey guys, we're with Jay, and as you guys have witnessed, we've been going over um, uh, just kind of high level with Jay's from founder to CEO. You guys were introduced to that in the Denver retreat, which was just kind of like very high level. So we're going to dig into it. If you've not caught up with the videos, go back and catch up with the videos that we've produced. There's three other ones where we've broke down what's in this CEO manual, the three R's, which are relationship, resources, and reasons. Jay, just run us through real quick again, so everybody has it. If they're catching up, what
Yeah.
are those three R's, and why are they so important?
The three R's are important because it's a way to grow with your organization. The thing with the organization is it might actually outgrow us. So the three R's is a simple way to start thinking about things that might be so in front of our face, so obvious, they're actually invisible. Like the
Mm-hmm.
importance of relationships inside and outside the organization. What relationships we have that we have got to maintain and grow, others we have to embrace and maybe let go of, and others outside of the organization that it's our responsibility to actually go out and get resources, the various capital, debt, and more, let's just say, more opaque resources that we're bringing. Example, our actual resourcefulness, how we lead, what we don't do that influences what we do, what we could give up so that we could focus on what we should do based on the company strategy, vision, and goals. Like, so that's resources is our resourcefulness and the other resources that ultimately it's our responsibility if we're in that founding seat, for that chief executive
Mm-hmm.
officer seat, and want to be more than just a title, but an actual productive mechanism for our own business. And the reasons why are we doing what we're doing? Do we
Mm-hmm.
even remember? Has it changed? Do we know? Do others? How do we clarify that? How does it go from in our body, in our spirit, in our mind, to on the wall, to then even more than just on the wall, transcending, not relegated to our the values are on the wall. How do we actually live by them? How do others help us live by them? So the three R's are a way to simplify all these, some of them abstract, kind of go over our head,
Yeah.
necessary things to be confronted with when we're in that leadership position, because there
Yeah.
are, we're responsible for the growth of the organization, and that can be a lonely place.
Well, it often is. I mean, I deal with that all the time with folks, seen that all the time, and I think this is very timely, Jay, just because when we look at things, when at least the conversations I've always had, but like right now, especially for some of our inner circle members, right? What's a founder? What's a CEO? Where do I fall? How do I know where I fall? And which way should I go? And there's no right or wrong here. It's just understanding that, right? Because it might just be, hey, look, I founded it. I need to get out of the way so this thing can grow. And I need to kind of step away. But how do I do that? How do I even know? Right? What are the signs? Like, are there signs there? And that's what I want to dig in with you today about, Jay. If we could just really stay on topic of
Can I
that. And I
share a quote?
yeah, I'll let you say it, but hold on.
Okay, I'm getting
Let's,
excited. I'm about to jump out of
okay,
my
I know. All right, all
shirt.
right. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, Jay. All right, easy boy, easy. All right, so we're gonna, guys, before Jay gives this quote, what we're gonna be talking about are the behavioral tendencies versus the founder or the CEO. We're gonna walk you through that a little bit so you can have a better idea and a comprehension of, hey, look, which way should I go? Which side of the fence do I fall in? And of course, if you need more help with that, we're always around to help you kind of wade through that. So, Jay, here you go. There's your quote, buddy.
Here's a quote I'm going to borrow from our friend Jordan Peterson. It's,
Okay.
I don't tell people you're okay the way that you are. That's not the right story. The right story is you're way less than you could be.
Yeah.
You're way less than you could be, meaning we're having this conversation in the spirit that people can learn, can grow, can develop. Like we believe in people. They may not want to continue working. They may not want to continue running their company. They may want to do something else. But we believe in you if you're listening. There are people that think they want to leave it that really don't. And there are people that think they don't want to leave it that really do. And we want to help you become clear on what do you actually want?
Yeah. Well, that's good. So I think the first thing, let's start with the founder. Like, what are those, as you see it, Jay? What are those like tendencies, the behavioral tendencies of a founder first? Like, let's try to focus just on the founder
And
before we go
I
to the
should
CEO.
clarify too, like let's use it, let's contextually say this is the first business that the person is founding or had founded.
Mm-hmm.
Well, think about in the origin of that. It's in their head. It the ownership of I am is going to be huge because I am alone in this. It is my idea. I am going to sell it now in the marketplace. I need customers. I may not have even sold investors on my idea. So it's not we, as in I am the product, I am the service or I am providing this. And we as in, oh, I have an investor that's supporting me. It may not even be that. It's like I am credit worthy, kind of. I've taken out a loan, whether that's a small business administration or just a personal credit card, or it's somebody believing like a spouse or a life partner or somebody like believing in the person and doing it right. The capital's coming from something, but it's likely I.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the founder we're talking. It's not the third business they're starting that they sold to. It's the one that they once started or they just started. It starts with individual responsibility. But this is the interesting thing about that. In the absence of resources, relationships, all you have is reasons. And what I mean by that is resources. All right, we're not well capitalized. We're not, buku. Maybe we have just enough capital to get the business started. Relationships. Maybe the people in our life have told us, the people that love us, you're crazy. You shouldn't do this. It's too risky. This isn't something like why bother? Like one of the paradoxes of healthy relationships interpersonally is that the more loving and the more helpful they're trying to be, the more negative it's going to feel for the founder because the advice that the founder is going to get is rational. Loved ones saying, don't do that. That's too risky because what they're doing is irrational.
Mm-hmm.
It's in their head. It's a vision. It's based on a possibility. It's irrational and nuanced and subjective and intuitive. So that creates isolation. Now it's like, okay, I'm losing relationships, meaning people don't believe in me. I don't want to I don't want to call that person and hear the negativity. So I'm not going to call them. Or I don't have time to hang out on Thursday, Friday, Saturday because I have to work 24/7 because of resources. I lack the capital, the credit, the customers. I'm working constantly because I am the business. So I lack the resources. I lack the relationships interpersonally.
Mm-hmm.
All I have is my reason. My
Okay.
reason might not even be clear. So where I'm going with this is the founder is on an island of their own in the beginning. And their first, let's say, visitors to their island of lost toys would be their customers. And
Right.
then, so go ahead.
Yeah. And that, so, to break it down, like, because I want, our members to understand, like, what's a founder saying? What are they doing? What could they be experiencing? What's showing up for that founder? What kind of things are going on?
Uh, there's not a lot of time to think. There's a heck of a lot of
Because
responsibility. Well, because we're wearing many hats.
yes, yes,
If
yes.
we don't do it, it's not done.
And it's not going to get done.
We're accountable to the lack of resources, to the lack of relationships, lack of customers, lack of employees. And this is where I'm going psychologically,
Hmm.
lack of belief. Not every, like, and I'm trying to articulate that, hey,
Hmm.
not everyone around you that's giving you bad advice hates you. They might actually love you. They're just telling you what they think is best because they love you and they care.
Hmm.
They're acting out of rationality. You're acting out of irrationality. And thanks, by the way, for that. So a lot of it is I. It's the ownership of the individual. I am. This is my vision. I am doing this.
Hmm. And
I.
there's a lot of
The
passion
rat.
around that.
Well, in the
It's
absence
it's
of
it's
that,
driving it's driving everything. It's driving the reasons, right?
well, it is the reason. Yeah, like that purpose.
Yeah.
Right? That purpose has an association with everything that I just said. And to each their own. There's varying degrees of intensity that people start things.
Hmm.
Remember, most businesses fail in the founding stage. Like they say 80% or fail in the first 5 years, 80% of that, 20% is done in that following 5 years.
Hmm.
Most fail because of all sorts of reasons: lack of focus, lack of responsibility, lack of knowledge, lack of, all things, life events that happen, yada, yada, yada. So some of the
Yeah, and I
behavioral.
think yeah, I think some of our members, right? This is applicable to everybody, but like we're talking about, you know, the inner circle members a lot too that are really going to be watching this, and been around long enough to see the same thing happening with them that's happened with other businesses that I've worked with. There's that level of anxiousness there, right? There's a little bit of anxiousness that goes, oh, because it all comes back to some of that irrationality that you talked
Well,
about,
an
and it's the
example of
passion.
that anxiousness can easily lead to the inability to let go of what one
Right.
once did.
Yeah.
But this is where the pendulum, I want to address this, that can actually swing too far where they abdicate responsibility. Rule number 4 in Beyond Order. Notice that opportunity lurks where responsibility has been abdicated. So when people try to move into that seat of like the boss, the quote unquote CEO,
Hmm.
they end up becoming irresponsible tyrants because they become too far away from the business.
Hmm.
They went from being too much in it to way far away where they don't even work anymore. And now everyone hates them and the business too. And so, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Can you just, you need me? Am I too loud? You want to come on the podcast? Or? I, podcast when you're yourself. No, no, it's Eric is interviewing me. You want to meet Eric? Eric Guy. He's one of the best guys around. I gotta go downstairs. I'll be back in 20 minutes. I'll come down. Just leave that. That was one of my best friends in the whole wide world, the real Brad Lee. If you don't know who that is, he's a very special person that's impacted our family and wonderful. So I always like to keep when this. He thought I was doing a monologue. The other day at the hotel, we were working. He went to the gym, and then I stayed and did a monologue in the work area in the hotel
Uh-huh.
in the hotel room. You know, when you get adjoining rooms and there's a work area,
Uh-huh.
and I'm doing the monologue on the introduction to the Peterson lectures, and he comes in flexing on the camera, thinking that I was doing a monologue, or he's like, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like, "No, myself." And so then he starts flexing and flexing his abs because now he's all ripped. And I'm like, this is going on YouTube. You know that, right? Anyway, so now he thinks I was doing this alone. Now you're on this with me, and it's better to keep it live, to keep it real anyway.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
sorry.
So let's talk about then when we move, or if we're going to move from founder to CEO, you know, what kind of behavioral tendencies do you typically find then in a real like a legitimate chief executive officer then? Like not one that just gives the label, right?
And I want to it this is the fun part about this is that I want to make this clear.
Uh-huh.
Not all CEOs are founders, but every founder is a CEO.
What do you
Not
mean by
all
that, Jay?
CEOs are founders. Yeah, I'm going to unpack this.
Okay.
Not all CEOs are founders, but every founder is a CEO because a chief executive officer can be someone that's hired to manage the company.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't found it. Now, the risk profile on that is high. That's why there are professional firms. One of my mentors, top in the world executive search, he places CEOs in public companies. Learned so much from him. There's a value in that because placing somebody in a company to manage it is extremely risky. At the same time, that may be the choice of the board, of the founding family, of the founding principals. And so, not all CEOs are founders, but every founder is a CEO. Now, what does that mean? Well, if I start the business because I had the idea, I founded it, I am in charge. I am the executive. I am the chief executive. I execute. I cut off. I decide. My argument with the journey of the CEO manual is that the founder and the CEO are actually different from a psychological perspective, an educational perspective, often
Yeah.
an experience perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Often they're different people. They're different, meaning I have to mature into that. So, for example, with myself, just because I wrote the CEO manual and I'm working on the active theorem for theory for 10 years, I'm not a CEO. I'm a founder attempting to mature into a chief. I don't know where are my exec. I don't even have any executives. Where are my executives? Where are they? Or you see, look, I haven't led executives yet. Who am I leading? Well, I'm leading a team. In my example, in my word, I'm advising
Mm-hmm.
founders exec. Well, that's just the my calling. That's the career path that I chose. That doesn't mean that I'm that. So I'm still on that journey. So there's a difference from an educational standpoint, from an experiential standpoint, even from a innate like we're built differently, and then that's where it's open to exploration. So what I meant by not every CEO is a founder because there could be hired executives to manage the company,
Mm-hmm.
but every founder is a CEO. When you start the company, you notice it says founder CEO. Well, who else is the CEO? Well, there isn't one. It's the founder. That's the chief. Now, and they may or may not be capable of leading people. They may be capable of selling customers, marketing the idea, but there's a difference in selling a customer and marketing an idea and fulfilling upon what was sold. That's where you've got customers. Now you're investing in employees. Now you have you're a master and a slave. You're a slave with two masters, a master with two slaves. Now I'm using that to be hyperbolic.
Yeah.
We don't want to be in that dichotomy of master slave, top down. Who wants to work for a tyrant? Who wants to work with a company that doesn't listen to its customers? But this stuff happens all the time because we lose sight of who we work for, of
Mm-hmm.
how we serve. So the dynamic changes. Once we have customers and now we have employees, we have customers on one hand that might love us. We have employees on the other hand that might dislike us. Why? I'm paying you and you don't like me. You're paying me and you love me. How'd that happen? This happens naturally in the absence of even thinking about these things. We're working on these things, education, experience. And what we're attempting to do with the CEO manual is compress the time and space to compress the learning, make it shorter, the learning curve for those that are at the helm of companies.
Mm-hmm. And so if you're looking to do that, like what are some of those, five, six kind of, you don't have to go over all of them, but few of those behavioral tendencies that CEO, like
Oh,
what are they saying? What are we thinking about? How does that happen? Like, so for those of you that, a lot of you are that we're going to be talking about are those founders.
Yeah,
There's
I'll
very
say it simply. In the beginning, the founders thinking for everyone. They're thinking for the customer. They may, if they're really capable of like inquiry, not just uh, a lot, pontificating on a script, but like getting to know their customers. They're capable of inquiry and dialogue. They're likely listening. You don't have to listen to grow a business in the beginning. Like you actually don't. People think they do when they're not. You could just move a million miles an hour and what you know ask the questions that lead someone to buy. If they're written down, am I even thinking anymore? They're just written down. These are the questions that need to be asked so that the buyer feels paid and has, now they decide they want it. That's, a low resolution example of sales. I don't necessarily need to be listening. If I've done it so many times, it becomes intuitive. It actually creates like a separation between the individual and themselves. They're not even present anymore in the sale. They're just like kind of there physically. And like, I've done this 10,000 times. I'm not even really there. Well, that creates a lot of problems when it comes to leading employees because you can't just sell them. They have to deal with you 24/7. They actually have to, they get to work with you. They have to work for you, and they're going to see your contradictions. They're going to build up a bank in their mind of all the times you were a hypocrite, all the times you didn't listen and didn't ask. And the honeymoon phase isn't going to last very long for the employees. So here's where I'm going with this. The founder thinks for everyone. Like they have to think. They have to. It's their vision. They're starting it. They're selling. They're convincing, and ideally on a spectrum of let's say awareness and ability to inquire, they are listening to the best degree to solve the customer's problem. So they're not selling a bunch of crap, right, to the wrong people. That said, once there's an organization, other people have to be thinking too. It's like you hire great people, get out of the way idea. Well, if people can't speak, they can't think. So the role of that chief executive is to help people speak and think, because when they speak and think, they can, well, they'll have more meaning, they'll actually do more, and they'll be responsible relative to the organization, how the organization acts out its accountability. If an organization is not listening, let's say the organization is not listening to its people, it's not listening to its customers, it's unlikely that those people will tell the truth. It's unlikely. And if they don't tell the truth, their truth that's pent up will suffocate them and they'll become disenfranchised and then they'll stop working to their fullest potential. And then, now they're just like fatutzing around. So like in a more simple way, the founder, it starts with I am, and I'm thinking, and I'm forced to think for everyone. As it becomes an organization, we have to go from like I use the metaphor in the manual, like I am the word, I am the truth, I am, to
mm-hmm.
Socrates. The more I know is the more I don't know. I'm the dumbest person in the room. Like I'm the least educated. I know the least about this. I know the least about this because I just hired somebody smarter than me at this that knows more at this. My job becomes creating the conversations, having an environment of trust.
Before our members, what do they need to do? Like if we're coming in to really dig into that, what mindset do they have to? Where's the shift?
I think a big start where this starts is people are often, if especially if it's times of success when things start coming to us, it conditions us below our awareness to stop doing the things that it really takes to be responsible in our role. So, and then like as we succeed, we have more opportunity to consume. It's like the more we're consuming, the less we're creating. we're not as engaged in the business as we used to be. That's why when I'm getting involved in an organization, I'm always starting with what's the strategy, what's the vision, what's the purpose, what exactly do you want, what do you not want, what do you do with your life? Like, I believe people are built to work one way or another. They're going to figure out how to do that, even if it's working to destroy their relationships, to destroy their company, destroy their marriages, destroy whatever. We work. We're human. We work. We're creators, and so we're creating chaos or creating order. So I think a big part of it starts with people recognizing if they're even engaged in their business anymore. If they're not sure, if they have any inkling that they're not, you got to get help. You got to get help. You're going to get help no matter what. It's either going to be selling your company to somebody that'll be able to get you for the lowest price,
Mm-hmm.
or it'll be someone to help you get reinvigorated that you actually do care about what you're doing and you did once care and you do want to lead and you do want to work and you do want to get to that next level. Um, I think a lot of it starts there. People that and time good times condition us to be reactive because we're entitled to things. Things come if business is coming to me. Use me as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Everyone is not, I have few relationships that you met one of them just walked in the door. I have few relationships that I serve. If and so therefore I'm doing 1,000 podcasts a year because I'm not entitled to the opportunity to work with everybody because I don't exist. So I'm going to do 1,000 podcasts. Now everybody in the world says, "Oh, Jay's the guy that'll help you with culture." Well, I'm going to go from doing 1,000 podcasts a year to 10. Uh, so as I become more successful in the culture, right, I may even start to think that I'm more successful. I am more successful. Now our revenue reflects that, but I stopped doing the things that got me there. So my soul is slowly being. It's like I'm getting fat from a soul standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting overweight. I'm not exercising anymore.
Right.
I stopped. I'm not eating healthy anymore for my soul. I'm not, even if I replace myself in the role, right? Like as the leader of the company, the person that, if you start it, you better finish it. I started it. I'm the leader and I'm until I'm out totally. I'm the leader. If I stop being engaged, it impacts everyone negatively because nobody wants to work for a tyrant. We don't want a monarchy. We want a democratic republic. Think, yeah, right, yeah. Anyway, we want we want to be able to. We need to be inspired. We need to believe in the people we work with and for. And it's a lot of it's a great sacrifice to be a business. Now, at the same time, there are people that are sacrificing in this, and they're doing the wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know they're doing the wrong things. Well, then who are they going to? What are they supposed to be doing? Well, then, what are you learning? Who are you learning from? Are you learning? What do you do in your free time? Oh, well, I go home and I drink every night because I'm working too hard. Well, stop. Or I go home and I eat 7 pounds of cake because that's the only thing. Or I go home and I scroll on this, for 10 hours
Mm-hmm.
because that's how I let loose. Maybe that's the time you need to invest in yourself so you could learn the next level. I mean, the main theme here is don't oh, the main theme is to finish what you start.
Mm-hmm.
The worst thing you could be is a disengaged leader for your company culture.
Right.
You're going to sell the business, sell the business. If you're not going to sell the business, don't sell the business. It's a sacrificial. One of the paradoxes of starting a business is people think they do it for freedom, but it's really for independence. It's the false idea of freedom. It's a 24/7 sacrifice. We think we do it for freedom when we really do it for independence. And the paradox is that it's unfree. It's completely. We're building a cage that we have to. It would be helpful to feel like, this is. I built my room. I like the way it looks. I have this. This is exactly what I wanted it to be. Okay, if you want to leave the cage, then do it the right way, where now someone else is that's their cage now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using the to be a bit dramatic, but it will feel like
No,
a cage
yeah, I
and like
don't
a
think it
hell.
is. That's how some people explain it.
It'll feel like a hell. I have a whole theory on how it doesn't have to feel like a hell, how we can leave from purgatory to meaning. And hopefully, over these episodes, it'll become more and more clear for people. I don't think they need me specifically to be in their life to be a
Mhm.
panacea for that. I think it's a constant evolution, and so that's why I worked on the CEO manual. So maybe in 121 pages, and I've been working on mine for months. I'm on page 46. There there'll be realizations and epiphanies for people to stop doing things that aren't working, do things that they never thought of, hire people that are qualified to help them. I watch too many business owners spend a million on the wrong advice to get finally hesitant on investing, you know, a hundredth of that on the right advice. So, um, you know,
Okay. Well, you heard it, members. Always good to chat and think about these things. And think about that. I mean, go over the video. If you haven't caught up with us so far, go back in those 3 videos that we did where we broke down the 3 R's: relationship, resources, and reasons. Go back over those and then spend some time thinking about this. Where do you are? Where do you fall? If you need some help, obviously, we're here. That's why we're doing this. So reach out. You just reach out to me, Eric. Dot guy at Top Contractor School, and we'll get you on the calendar. We'll get you on the calendar with Jay, or even when he's in for the meetups
love it.
or the retreats. So, any last words, Jay, on
Yeah,
this
I want to
piece?
shout out season 5, episode 49 of the Culture Matters podcast. Season 5, episode 49. Listen to that episode because our guest appearance on this show, that's their episode. Shout out to the real Bradley, who's been a huge influence over my career in the professional services. And go listen to that episode and follow along on the Culture Matters podcast because that's going to help. It's a free resource for everybody to get constant interaction with ideas that could change their life, and you can learn along with me. And I challenge you to follow Eric's podcast as well. Victory, right?
Your best day yet, baby.
Why did I think it was victory? See that?
Center
Shame
for
on me.
Victory.
Yeah,
That's
Center
the
for Victory.
Center for Victory.
Yeah, if you listen to that podcast, it'll be your best day yet. And if you could ping pong between me and Eric, basically what we want for you is to spend all your time listening to us and not working. So ironically, we get better at our lives and then you end up not doing better. That's one of the ironies of this self-help, right? Is that spend all your time listening to me. And then
Oh
now
boy.
you can live vicariously through my success and then you end up not accomplishing anything. Don't do that. That's me being, satirical.
All
Don't
right.
listen too much. Don't get addicted to
Yeah.
us and gals.
All right.
That's what to say.
All right. Good words,
Careful. Be
Jay.
careful who your idols are.
Yeah. Till next time, members. We'll talk to you soon.